Hey guys, I'm going to be making a pair of little baby leggings today. I made these yesterday, and I'm going to show you how I did that. My ankle seams aren't that great because, as you can see, they don't fit around my sewing machine, so I had to sit them all the way up on top. So I'm going to show you a different way to do your ankle, the hem around the ankle. I've already cut out my pattern pieces. And I don't remember what's the top and what's the bottom. Okay, yeah, these are so short I couldn't tell the bottom from the top. Okay, here's the bottom. Okay. I'm going to flip it over and put the pretty side down. And I'm going to fold this up. This bottom seam, I'm going to fold it up just a little bit. I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to iron that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold it up one more time, trying to keep it as straight as I possibly can to make a pretty little seam when we're done. And now, as you can see, it's folded and ready to go in my machine. So I'm going to show you how to do that, how I'm going to do this. Okay. Let me get that hot iron out of my way. Okay. I'm going to take it and put it right up underneath my foot. And I have the seam, the top of the seam, over here on this side of my needle. And I'm going to line up this edge right here with the bottom of my foot. And then I'm going to change the settings on my machine. Right here, I can change it from the left side, the middle side, or the right side, and it's where the needle is. It's the position of the needle. And I'm going to put it all the way over to the left so I can get it as close to the edge of the seam as possible. Okay, let me get my foot over here. And then I'm going to back stitch a little bit to secure that in there. Oh, now we're getting a little stuck. Move my hands over here for you to see. And I'm going to back stitch at the end too. And now, as you can see, it put the stitch line really, really close to the edge of the seam. And it just makes it look prettier over here. So now I'm going to do the other leg. Okay, so now that I've got the seam done on the other leg, the bottom hem, I am going to take the pretty sides and fold them together. And I'm going to line up this side right here. You might want to pin it. I'm personally not going to, but it'll help you keep straighter if you do pin it. And then I'm just going to sew straight along here to enclose the leg hole. And I've kept my needle pushed over to the left side on this. I've not moved it. It's not necessary. You want to make sure the bottom edge of your pants are lined up over here underneath your needle, just so you don't get it all wonky looking. And then you're just going to sew. There we go. My son just came in and squirted me with a water bottle. Alright. Now I'm just going to sew down this edge. Making sure the fabric is straight as I go. And I keep a straight stitch. Don't squirt mommy, please. Okay, so I've got both legs stitched down the sides, and now I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to turn it right side out. Like this. And I'm going to take the right side out one and I'm going to stuff it down the still inside out piece. And I'm going to use that to sew the inseam. And you want to line up those ankles real good so you don't have one pant leg longer than the other. And you want to sit the seams on both the legs on the same place. Okay. My son's playing outside and banging on the windows apparently. Alright. It's been about 30 minutes at this point, and my video is only 10 minutes long. I've been pausing it so much. But anyways, we're lining up these seams, these edges, and trying to make sure everything is straight and perfect. And my pattern was cut a little bit off, I can tell now. These two pieces aren't matching up perfect, but I'm getting them as close as I can. Let's see. I'm going to sew on that, and you're going to leave this part, you're going to leave that open. That's going to turn out to be your waist. But just start at the top of one side of the V. Like I'm gonna start over here. You're gonna get water on my sewing machine. Go outside and play. Go squirt the doggies. And again, I'm just trying to keep everything as straight as possible while I sew this. I said go squirt the dogs. Oh, is it not working? I'll fix it in a minute, okay? Make sure you catch both pieces of fabric as you're sewing. I sometimes end up not doing that. Okay. Now we've got the inseam sewn. You're just going to reach in and pull one pant leg out. And then you should end up with something that looks like this. I didn't get my leg seams matched up exactly perfect, but I think it'll look alright whenever I turn them out. Let me see. Yeah. You can see right there I didn't match up my legs perfect, but they're going to end up being the same length anyways. That inseam is just going to be a little bit crooked. And now we need to sew the top up here. I'm going to put elastic in it. So what I'm going to do, this elastic is all wadded up. Goodness. Okay, what I'm going to do with the elastic is I'm going to measure it across, and then I'm going to fold it over. And I'm going to take away just a little bit. So now you can see it fits around the waist, but not all the way. Another thing that I like to do is this seam allowance is pretty big, and I'm just going to cut a little bit of the fabric away so it'll make sewing the edges easier. I'm going to cut above the stitch. Obviously, I don't want to take them apart, but that will just make it easier to sew the waistband. Because I don't have as much bulk under there. I'm going to go ahead and flip them over to the back. And I'm going to do the same thing there. Just cut above the stitching to give me a little bit more room. Okay, now I'm going to take the waist and I'm going to do the same thing that I did to the bottoms. I'm going to fold it. Do one little straight fold. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult on this, just because it's kind of at an angle. But I'm just going to fold it and then press the seam. Okay, and do the same thing again, trying to keep it as straight as possible along that first fold. Okay, now as you can see, this part is higher, and that's going to end up being the butt of your pants, the back. So what we're going to do we are going to start, we're going to leave a gap right at the seam. We're going to leave a gap about that big, just not very big at all. And we're going to sew around this, but just leave that gap open. And again, you can pin this seam that you pressed, or you don't have to. Like I said earlier, I personally don't like pinning seams, so I don't do it. You want to make sure to keep your seam straight and all that. Keep it where you had it so it all stays about the same width around. It gets a little bit difficult when you get to the seams, but I kind of have to pull mine through whenever I get to the seams. Okay, now I've made it back around to that original seam that I started by. I'm gonna leave like maybe a ½ inch gap. I'm not gonna sew all the way up to where I started, but I'm gonna leave that gap and I'm gonna back stitch where I'm stopping. this point, you're going to take your elastic. Look at these threads. The threads bother me so much. And see, I've got it sewed all the way around, except for right here on the back. I have this little hole. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a safety pin. You can use a bobby pin for it. You can use, I don't know. I use a safety pin most of the time. But you're going to pin onto the elastic that you've already cut. And you're going to stick the bobby pin, the safety pin, bobby pin, whatever it is that you're using. You're going to stick it up in that little hole. And you want to try to keep your elastic flat with the waistband. And you're just going to bunch it up and then pull. Bunch it up on the bobby pin, safety pin, pull. And bunch it up. Sometimes it'll be a little bit hard to get past the seams, but it's not too awful difficult. And another thing, you don't want to let your other end get lost up in there. That's not fun. Then you'll have to pull it out and redo it. Okay. Now I've made it all the way around. I'm going to take that safety pin off. And I'm going to pull the pants back. I usually just bunch them up on there like that. And then I'm going to sew this shut. Just sew these two pieces of elastic together. I got a little bunched up in there. But I got it. And now that I've got this sewn together, I'm going to trim off the excess that I didn't get to sew together. And then just stretch out the pants. And then you're just going to put it back on your sewing machine after you've got the elastic in there. You're going to put it right back on your sewing machine. And you're going to sew close the little hole that you left open. You break something. I'll go take care of it. And you'll trim your threads. And you've got that all closed up. And then just turn your little leggings out. And there you go, you've got a little pair of leggings. I hope you guys enjoyed my video.